Hello guys, we are going to be doing a video on the architect Bjarke Ingels and his impact on Florida and what he accomplished while doing work here. As you may know, Bjarke Ingels Group is an internationally recognized architecture firm known for their dynamic forms and using computational protocols to express their designs. They do big, bold work, and their work is very much informed by the region that they're placing their buildings in. And going into that point, what makes their work so unique is their utilization of sustainable strategies. They exemplify this attitude in their book Hot and Cold, showing that they create unique bioclimatic architectural responses based on region. Their first project is in Miami, was a condominium located in the hip, lush neighborhood of Miami Coconut Grove. It's two twisting towers, and the site orientation is quite unique because they twist in response to the penetrating western sun. The building orients itself well on site, deflecting from the intense western sun while providing lush tropical spaces in the public amenities. The lushness draws inference to the neighborhood while also create a comfortable microclimate. It passes the Miami building requirement of Miami 21, which requires that buildings must have covered parking and all the public spaces must either be vegetated or made with reflective material. In this case, they created a vegetated amenity spaces that are basically above the parking, so they solve the two problems. And within those amenity spaces, they planted lots of vegetation. The landscape architect on the project was Raymond Jungels, and he specified 15,000 plants within the site. Florida is hot, humid, and bright, and the interventions within this building complex are quite unique in that they are shaded areas which create interesting moments for meeting. The project is ultimately a LEED Gold certified project. Building gives back to the site and nature to its occupants while being close in proximity to a thriving urban oasis of the Coconut Grove neighborhood. Bjarke Ingels has an upcoming project, mixed-use development in Alapata, Miami, an up-and-coming neighborhood near the wildly popular Wynwood area. Alapata is an ideal location in the Miami metro area that it creates an opportunity for workers and professionals that want to live and work in their neighborhoods. The project addresses affordability, which is a pressing concern of Miami real estate. The project is elevated considering resiliency as a strategy. It's also elevated for easy circulation. In harmonious fashion, the building creates compelling interventions of biophilia, which is optimal in terms of creating shade and cooling from the brutal tropical weather. The building complex will act as an urban farm and be a self-sufficient form of infrastructure. As this building complex is meant for mixed use, it'll be very important to see what it will provide in the future, especially when thinking if there are restaurants, if there are grocery stores or supermarkets, because it will be acting as almost its own factory for producing. And that is a very big move because transporting goods and services takes up gas, it requires energy, and to have that self-sufficiency will bypass that process and even make this project even more sustainable. Bjarke Ingels has had unbuilt projects that were well thought of and considered of site-specific areas, one of them being a condominium in Fort Lauderdale. The condominium had a very interesting proposal and response to the site. It opens up into the waterfront area. The condominium is in the Riverwalk area of Fort Lauderdale, and Fort Lauderdale is known as the Venice of Florida because it's filled with canals everywhere. Their unbuilt condominium in the Riverwalk district of Fort Lauderdale is intended as an affordable housing development. The building is composed of modules which serve as a scale to the individual spaces. The building opens up in the lower portion, providing passerbys the view of the river. The design intent is quite remarkable considering that Miami is notorious for having the least amount of public beach views, since the condos have monopolized the ocean front, preventing the general public from seeing the water. While we are witnessing how big deals with heat and humidity, it's interesting to see that same approach on other tropical, hot and humid regions. And this new building, well, not really new, but this recent project that they did was in Singapore. And in the same light, they deal with the pressing issues of that sort of microclimate, which is heat, humidity, and brightness. And as you can see, they create these very interesting shaded spaces, as you can see on the bottom, and creating these apertures that also provide shade as a public space. And within those public spaces, they've created these interesting, sort of mystical, magical, whimsical, sort of lush environments filled with tropical vegetation. And as we know and spoke about earlier, the vegetations reduce the heat island effect and create this cooling environment. And it's very similar to what their approach was when they were doing work in Florida. Well, this concludes our video on Bjarke Ingels. Please like and subscribe to my page, and I'll be showing you more videos in design, architecture, as well as tutorials in Rhino and Grasshopper. Thank you.